MLB Trade Deadline is closing in, and one blockbuster could change the entire market. We'll look at the latest moves, rumors. We'll recap the action from around the majors today. We'll also recap the Pikkit play of the day. Also get you a round one recap from the Rocket Classic, Detroit Golf Club. And we'll go over some general sports news. NFL, NCAA football news. We never talk WNBA, but that league is a complete clusterfuck. So we'll bang on them. And even some LPGA news. Look, the clock is ticking, the board is loaded. Let's talk some sports, find an edge, have some fun tonight. What's going on, everybody? It's Off the Hook, sports talk that pays off. We are powered by Pikkit. Tommy Trends here with you on a thirsty Thursday evening. Better late than never. Co-pilots Mookie and Nash holding things down, keeping me in check. And lots to go over tonight. Got caught in a downpour with the pups, so that delayed everything. But look, we're fucking here now. So we'll talk Major League Baseball, get you caught up on today's action. And the Pikkit play of the day for the Dodgers game tonight. We'll look at some trade rumors that have emerged in the past few hours. Obviously, Scooble, his name's at the top. We have some NFL training camp news. All camps are in action. And we'll bang on the WNBA because we don't talk WNBA because that league is complete fucking trash. And, by the way, tomorrow, our AFC North preview drops on our new football series here at Off the Hook. 4th and Goal. That will drop tomorrow, and we do a division every week leading up to the start of NFL season and college football season. The college football preview will be up in a couple weeks. We'll let you know when that drops. So make sure you check out our YouTube page at OTH Sports Pod for that. That'll be up tomorrow. Probably like 9, 10 a.m. It'll be up before noon. Let's put it that way. All right. Let's just get this fucking party started tonight and step in the batter's box and take a swing. Go across the diamond here and get you caught up on all the action and games in progress from Major League Baseball today. Let's start here. Some finals. A little lighter slate today. Some teams traveling today and whatnot. But some finals here. Braves, Cubbies, the White Sox, Twins, and Tampa Bay. All winners today. And some games in progress right now. Bottom of the 9th in Cincinnati. All tied up at 2 between the Reds and the Pirates. And another one all tied up at 2, top of the 7th at Shitty Field. Mets and Marlins in action there. Top of the 3rd, we're scoreless at Sutter Health Park. The Sacramento A's and the Boston Red Sox scoreless, top of the 3rd. And the Giants on top of the Padres, 3-0, bottom of the 2nd. Dodgers, Mariners from Chavez Ravine. And that's going to get underway in just a few minutes, like a minute or two, first pitch there. And while we're at it, I'll get you the Pikkit play of the day, which is posted on our X page at OTH Sports Pod. Pikkit play of the day is Dodgers team total over 4.5 there. Look, there's a couple angles with this, and it's not because I'm a biased Dodgers fan. But look, let's talk about if you want to look, there's too much juice to lay the Dodgers money line, so that wasn't even an option because that was sitting somewhere around -157, -160, depending on what book you're using. But and then I'm not taking the fucking Mariners. They're +130. I mean, you could if you like the dog there, but we'll explain why it doesn't make sense. And look, I'm not saying I don't bet against the Dodgers. I'm just saying from this matchup tonight. Now, the Dodgers could be vulnerable with Sasaki getting the ball tonight, but Brian Wu is on the mound for the Mariners. And there's a couple things to note here. Look, his home road split is fucking ridiculous, first of all. But the one thing that stood out here Well, first of all, the Dodgers lineup from top to bottom can just fucking rake and they can just score, and especially at home. But we'll look at the pitching matchup first. So this is when I looked at this. First of all, Bryce Miller was supposed to start this game, and he got pushed back, and Brian Wu gets the call. So now he's pitching early. His routine's all fucked up. And look, let's be honest. Athletes are mental midgets, and when your routine is all jacked up, it has a tendency to go sideways. So that's number one. Number two, Brian Wu, his home road split. His road ERA is 6.52, a 1.50 whip across 58 road innings. Okay, so his season ERA is 4.37. His last 6 road starts, 29 earned runs in 30 innings. That works out to an 8.70 ERA. And it's not too good, right? So, and again, we'll flip to the Dodgers side. Roki Sasaki on the mound here, all right? And listen, he's the weakest arm in their rotation, okay? But he's pitched better of late. Pitched well against the Mets, pitched well against the Yankees, 1 earned run in 12 2/3 inning. Now, hopefully that's trending the right way and he doesn't shit the bed tonight. But again, if he does, I'm banking on the Dodgers still hitting their way out of it. So just looking at the pitching matchup, I'm like, all right, well, again, Dodgers vulnerable with Sasaki, too much juice for the Dodgers money line. So then I'm looking at, all right, well, scoring wise, right? So when I broke it down, so when you look at Brian Wu, his earned runs prop is 2.5, right? So the juice on that is minus 150 to the over. If you look at some market projections for him, they're saying 3 runs or better. And then we're asking the Dodgers, can you get 5 runs across the plate or better? I think so, because his prop points are pointing to at least 3 runs or better. Now, again, we're taking the Dodgers over 4.5 team total, so they got to get 5. Just asking them to push a couple extra runs across. And Dodgers, the 32-20 at home, 68-40 overall. Seattle lost 6 of its last 8 games. So again, the difference in the pitching matchup, especially with Brian Wu going early, like his routine's all screwed up. Dodgers at home, it just, again, even though Sasaki's on the mound and he's questionable, even though he's trended upward with his last 2 starts against the Mets and the Yankees, again, if he gets shelled in only last 2 or 3 innings, I still think the Dodgers can score, especially against Brian Wu, starting a day early here. So again, Pikkit play of the day from Chavez Ravine tonight. Dodgers team total over 4.5 tonight. I think they get it done. And but again, I would have laid the money line. It's just I thought I'd get a little bit better number with Sasaki, but the market kind of adjusted for that with his last 2 outings. So that is the Pikkit play of the day that we posted earlier, but just wanted to recap that before we get into some of the other action here as far as the trade deadline. And just to kind of recap here, we did in the night slate, we had the Marlins money line tonight taking on the Mets. And that's pretty simple. If you've joined the program at any point in the last month or so, we said we're going to continue to fade the Mets the rest of the season. We're going to track it on Pikkit, and we're going to see how profitable we are, because that team's a complete dumpster fire. So there's no way in hell we're going to take the Mets. I don't really care who the hell they're playing, but we're not taking the Mets. Marlins, they had an early game yesterday, swept the Phillies in South Florida, ended their 12-game losing streak. Winners of 3 in a row now. So they got out of town early, got into New York early. Makes a big difference from a travel standpoint. Mets played a doubleheader yesterday, bullpen fatigue, and they're the fucking Mets, right? So, but from a numbers standpoint, And look, you might say the argument, well, Nolan McLean's pitching for the Mets in his last 7 starts, almost 24% K to walk, 33 and a third hard hit, and a 2.09 ERA. But again, it's the Mets, right? And I like the Marlins coming off a sweep of the Phillies at home and getting out of town early on a, so that does matter. And then again, Yuri Perez only allowed 7 runs in 36 innings since his stint on the IL. His K rate's just shy of 26% and only like a 7.5% walk rate. So, we took the Marlins money line, riding with the fish tonight. That was a play. We also took Nats Braves under 9.5. These are all posted on our X page at OTH Sports Pod. That was posted earlier this evening. So we did take the under in that game, and that did cash. Barely, but it cashed. 5-4 was the final there. And Pirates Reds under 9.5 was another play. That also cashed. We had some earlier games this afternoon as well, which were posted. But again, that's just kind of a recap. And then, like we said, the Pikkit play today is Dodgers team total over 4.5 tonight from Chavez Ravine. So let's look here. These are some of the latest trade rumors. Trade deadline, August 3rd, 6 o'clock is the trade deadline here. And, obviously Skubal is the hot name. What are the Tigers going to do? Are they going to keep him? They're going to move him? I think they're going to move him. They almost have to move him. I mean, look, because he's not coming back. So it's either you move him and you get something for him, or now the other question is, do we even have a Major League Baseball season next year? And that's a topic for we can debate that another time, but it's not looking good. So again, the Tigers could argue, well, maybe we'll hang on to him and make a playoff push. I mean, they're 6.5 games back from the division. If you look at the wild card standings, they're 4.5 back out of the wild card spot. They could keep him and make a push. I don't see them doing it. I think he's going to get moved. So obviously, in the last 24 hours, the Dodgers have now emerged as a front runner to land Skubal. Some other teams also in the mix. Possibly the Phillies could be in the mix to land Skubal. Maybe even the Yankees. Maybe even the Braves. But right now, trending toward possibly Dodgers. But that would mean the Dodgers would have to give up probably Robleski. Maybe Sasaki, maybe both. I don't know. I would not give up Robleski for Skubal, though. That's just me. But again, he's obviously the top. His name's the top of the list for the trade market and the trade deadline ending August 3rd at 6 o'clock. Brewers could also become a landing spot for Skubal. Look, even possibly the Rays. It really depends on what the Tigers are what they want to get for Skubal. I mean, they could get a lot. Who knows? They might even keep him. That would be foolish, but I don't know. We'll see. As far as the Yankees, they're obviously in the market. They need some help. They need a catcher. They need outfield help, bullpen help. As far as some names out there that could land in New York, it would be Hunter Goodman. I mean, that'd be like the dream catcher fit for the Yankees. But the Rockies' price, well, it's going to be a high price tag to let Goodman go. Lance Thomas, Joe Adell, those are more realistic outfield possibilities for Yankees. Even, the Padres are, Mason Miller's gone for the most part, I would think. Even though they're going to demand a massive return for Miller, maybe the Yankees are in the mix for that. The Yankees also scouted Clay Holmes during his Mets rehab start. So maybe Clay Holmes ends up in the Bronx. The Phillies are going the wrong direction after the All-Star break. 3-9 since the All-Star break. They need some help. They need bullpen help. They need a starter because Aaron Nola's shit. They need bats. Who knows what they're going to do, but they got to do something. And apparently Don Mattingly is not too happy with Bryce Harper's comments saying they need help. Well, they do need help. But again, that's what you get with Don Mattingly. His teams are, they're not the most fundamentally sound teams, which is, again, why he's not really been – his most successful stint probably was, you could argue, the Dodgers, but I think he did his best job with the Marlins. The Dodgers roster that he had when he was there was way more talented than what he got out of it. But again, Don Mattingly apparently not happy with Bryce Harper saying they need help, but the Phillies do need help. So, there's also some other names out there. Dalton Varsho, George Springer, Jeff Huffman, Kevin Gausman, Shane Bieber, possibly on the move to Philly. I mean, these are just all speculation at this point, but Luis Robert Jr. could also be an ideal fit for the Phillies. Again, these are just speculations from multiple MLB reporters and whatnot, but Braves, as they sit in first place, they're going to need some help just with injuries. So their need for a starter has increased. Obviously, anybody looking for a starting pitcher is going to be in the mix for Skubal, right? Again, it's just how much do you want to pay for him, and what do the Tigers want? And the Tigers are going to let him go. But some other names linked to Atlanta, possibly Gausman, Robbie Ray, Clay Holmes. Gausman, that would be a reunion in Atlanta. He was there in 2018. So, again, some other teams that could flip the rest of the market here. Look, you got the Nationals, this is a critical 4-game series in Atlanta as they sit 55-54. This series for the Nationals could really determine if they're buyers or sellers at the trade deadline. They already added Connolly early to the rotation. Foster Griffin is 12-2, a 2.76 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. Now, one report, it was a local reporter, I believe, in the D.C. area, that an agreement is very unlikely. Others have the Nationals potentially re-signing Foster Griffin, so who the fuck knows? Again, everything's speculation at this point. The Cubs, they're most likely going to be buyers. They discussed catcher Carson Kelly, and but again, the Cubs would only reportedly move him if they got a major league pitcher. They don't want a prospect. But again, who knows? Obviously, the Royals, they're selling off everything. Lane Thomas, Starling Marte, Brad Schreiber, those are the most likely of names to move from the Royals. Cardinals, the Cardinals, they're listening. They'll pretty much take a phone call on anyone on their roster at this point. Nootbaar, Herrera, and pretty much all their relief pitchers could be on the block. Jordan Walker, J.J. Weatherholt are the reported exceptions, though, that they're not going to move those guys. But it looks like everybody else in the Cardinals, whether it's starting pitcher, bullpen, or anyone really on the Cardinals roster, except for Walker and Weatherholt, could be on the move. Now, the Blue Jays, they're in an interesting spot. They're 50-59, 5 games out. That's a pretty big hill to climb, I would think. So you figuring Springer, Gausman, their deals are expiring, so they're probably on the move. Again, it's all speculation. And then we already talked about Hunter Goodman. While he's also drawn interest, other than the Yankees, Rays, Red Sox. But again, he's got 3 more years left on his contract, I believe. And again, the asking price from the Rockies is pretty large. So that's some of the trade deadline news notes, so to speak, and what the latest rumors are. But again, nothing crazy. I did forget to mention one other play that we have tonight. Robbie Ray, under 2.5 earned runs tonight. Robbie Ray, this could actually be his last game pitching tonight here for San Francisco, because his name's obviously, he's probably going to be on the move, especially teams that need a starting pitcher. And what's interesting here, Robbie Ray is 6-0 with a 1.71 ERA and 48 strikeouts in his last 10 games. He's fucking pitching lights out. I could not believe that when I saw Robbie. I was like, holy shit. I mean, he's good, but that's wild. 6-0 in his last 10 games, 1.71 ERA, 48 strikeouts. So, and San Francisco winning 3-1. He has 1 earned run tonight, so hopefully he doesn't give up any more, or that bet's fucking cooked. But Robbie Ray, this is probably most likely his last game pitching for the Giants. So that'll get you up to date here. The latest trade rumors in MLB. Dodgers, Mariners, bottom of first, nothing. Dodgers have runners on the corners and nobody out. Mets, Marlins still tied at 2, going to the bottom of the 8th. A's on top of the Red Sox, 1-0, top of the 4th. What's interesting, that park up there in Sacramento, that typically trends to the over, and that's the over's cashed, I believe, at like a 55 or 60% rate this season. Every one of these games between Boston and the Sacramento A's have gone under. It's fucking wild. So that's 1-0, top of the 4th. And we said the Giants on top of the Padres, 3-1, top of the 3rd. San Francisco runners at 2nd and 3rd, and 2 outs. So that's the latest across the diamond. Let's head to Detroit, and we'll get you caught up on the opening round of what is most likely the final Rocket Classic. And man, that's a hell of an opening round. If this is the final Rocket Classic, it definitely started with a bang. And it looks like the $16 million in renovations that they did since last year. Guys are still scoring, and look, they're going to have favorable weather throughout the whole weekend. Possible thunderstorms rolling through the next 3 days. But other than that, weather shouldn't be an impact here. Peter Malnati is your leader. He's 9 under. He just comes out today, fires a 61, ties the course record. Right? And then you get Ricky Fowler. He's 7 under, shoots a 63 today. And then you have Cam Young, heavy favorite there. He is 1 under. Russell Henley, 3 under. This is the most stacked field that this tournament has had in the 8th year that they've been doing this. Normally, it's a little bit lighter field. Guys usually take this week off. But with only this week and then the Wyndham next week, you have the FedEx Cup playoffs starting. So some guys that normally don't play this are in the mix here, and this is the strongest field that they've had in the 8 years that they've been doing this. So, again, this is most likely the final one because the PGA Tour is changing their event schedule, and apparently if they want to continue here, Detroit Golf Club has got to pay like $15 million to continue to host this event, and they don't want to be like a tier 2 event and not be like a major or a signature event. So most likely it's gone unless another sponsor comes in and picks it up. But again, if it's the last one, we're off to a good start. So actually, Peter Malnati, the way he was playing today, he actually had a shot. He had a legit shot at a 59. It was in reach. He missed the birdie putt on 18 that would have taken him to 10 under. And he was close. Even Fowler had a good round. But let's take. I do have a couple clips here of some of these shots here. Actually, let's take a look at the leaderboard here real quick, and All right, so this is what we got. There's Malnati. He's your leader at 9 under with that 61 today. And then you have Fowler, Ryan Gerard, who was the 2023 Rocket Classic champion. Both those guys 7 under, shooting a 63. Patrick Fishburne. Patrick Cantlay, we did have him for a first-round leader. Got close, but no cigar. Cantlay, I believe he had the afternoon group. He fired off the best round. The group's going off this afternoon. So Fishburne, Cantlay, both firing off a 64 and tied for fourth. And then you have Michael Kim, Chris Kirk, Keegan Bradley there, Michael Brennan, Ricky Castillo, Xander Schauffele is right in the mix. This is his first time playing the Rocket Classic. Jordan Spieth, this is his first time playing. Now, Jordan Spieth struggled a little bit. I believe he finished 2 under. He was 3 under. Yeah, he is 2 under, tied for 47th. So top 65 and ties will advance to the weekend. Jackson Koivin, the winner last week from the 3M Open. Right now, he is below the cut line after shooting a 69 today. So he is 1 under. Siwoo Kim is right there, 1 under as well. Maybe Siwoo Kim, him getting stuck at the Canadian border trying to find a restaurant. Maybe that had him all flustered and didn't do so well today. But he's got to turn it around if he wants to play weekend golf here. And as far as dead last, let's see who's dead last. Patrick Rogers. Well, he fucking he gone. Austin Smotherman, 77. Yeah, that's not going to get it done. Last year's defending champion, Aldrich Potgieter, 76 today. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to play weekend golf. Lucas Glover, his struggles continue after his antics last week, stomping around barefoot on the green. So he's got some work to do tomorrow. Let's see. One note here, Jake Knapp was, he struggled quite a bit. He was on pace to fire off a 73, and he basically turned that 73 into a 67. This is how he finished. Eagle, bogey, birdie, birdie, birdie. So Jake Knapp, 67 for his round today, sits at 3 under. A lot of these guys bunched up here at 3 under. I mean, look at this. 27th, but look at the drop off, right? So Jackson Suber is another one we took for an outright winner. So typically what I'll do is I'll take a short number, took Cam Young, and then take like a longer number. So I took Suber as a longer outright winner, but he's still right in the mix. Cam Young, though, not looking good. I mean, again, 1 under, but he's got some work to do. But you look at this leaderboard bunched up here. All these guys at 3 under. From Eric Cole all the way down here to William Jennings. I mean, these guys are going to have to create some separation here tomorrow, which I think they will. But again, lots bunched up at 3 under and even 2 under, right? So right now, if you're looking at this, 2 under is where the cut line is going to sit at here. So lots of names still in play. And you see here, again, just to make it easy, we're not going to sit around and flip through different betting apps. But this is FanDuel odds. So if you look for outright winners here, I mean, you still get some value here on a lot of these guys. I mean, even Fowler at 8.5 to 1. Keegan Bradley fired off a 65 today, 22 to 1. He actually played pretty good today. Even Michael Brennan. A lot of these names here at the top, if you go back yesterday's Tee to Green episode, that is your complete betting guide for the Rocket Classic. And it's not just to use for today. That has everything in there for you to bet throughout the entire weekend. Course details, what you look for, And really, just to go over a couple things. Um, One thing that I looked at when I handicapped this is the proximity chart as far as the approach play and the shot distribution and where most of the shots are going to come from. So inside 100 yards, 17.8%, let's just say 18% of the shots will come from inside 100 yards. The biggest where you're going to get the most shots on the approach play is going to be from 150 to 175 yards. 20% of the shots are going to come from the 150 to 175 mark. Now, what the second biggest number as far as where most of the shots are going to come from here, almost 14.5% of the shots are going to come from 250 yards plus, which, I mean, one number immediately jumps off the page. It's the 150 to 175 mark, right? 20% of the shots. So that is the single largest proximity bucket on the course and how this course plays. So if you're looking at that, that tells you that the mid-iron play, you're going to get tested all week. And if your mid-iron game is shit, well, you're going home tomorrow. And then it's like we said, the second biggest bucket is a 250-yard plus. That's about 14.5%. So if you think about that, almost 15% of the approach shots are coming from more than 250 yards, which is really unusual. If you look at other courses, that's a big number. So that's going to tell you that distance matters, but these guys are going to be using hybrids, long irons, if you're hitting at 250 plus. So again, it's not just distance, it's really the controlled distance, especially how some of these, they've added 7 more bunkers and they moved them more downrange because where they were set up before, the guys could just pretty much just carry the bunkers and it wasn't even a problem, wasn't even in play. So they changed that. The greens are changed. The greens are now 67 square feet. They were around 5,400 square feet. So you have larger greens, but you might have the green in regulation number could be deceiving. So if they say, well, the guys, I don't know, I'm just making up 12 or 13 greens in regulation. I'm like, oh, that's great. Well, okay, but you have to look at what was his proximity to the hole location, right? So even though he hit 12 or 13 greens, he could be putting for a birdie at like 40, 50 feet putt for birdie, right? So you have to really look inside the number and not just at the number itself. Another thing that makes these large greens interesting is the shelving, the runoffs, as well as when they shrunk these greens over time, they lost some of these pin locations. Well, now that they've gone and made these greens larger, you're going to get difficult pin locations throughout this tournament that they couldn't do in the past. So that's going to make it challenging. So obviously accuracy, your spin, you have to control that if you want to stick your shot on these greens. And also the runoff area. Normally the ball could get stuck in the rough and hold up there. Well, now the way they've redesigned these greens, that ball could run off 15, 20, 25, 30 yards. So scrambling is really going to be important. So your iron play, scrambling, and again, the course plays it's like 73, 30, 73, 28 yardage wise. It was a par 72, but with the renovations, it's now a par 70. So it's playing like 50, 60 yards shorter than it did last year. It doesn't mean that you can just grip and rip off the tee. They cut down trees as well, which actually could hinder some of these guys. But if you're errant off the tee with moving the bunkers down range, moving trees, your angle of approach could not be as ideal as what you'd want. So it's your accuracy and your distance off the tee, not just the distance. So be mindful of that as you're live betting and taking a flyer on some of these guys throughout the weekend. because it's not, the long ball hitters will do well, but they have to make sure that their accuracy is there. And they made wider fairways as well, and that doesn't mean it's going to be easier. Again, wider doesn't mean better. Your approach shot coming in, depending on where you're at in the fairway, could be less than ideal. So just keep that in mind as you're live betting throughout the weekend. It's really a full bag course. It's not a driver and then flip a wedge in and then putt for birdie. You're going to need the wedge play is important. Your short and mid irons, even long irons, even hybrids. You're going to see guys hitting hybrids, especially when we said 14.5% of the shot distributions coming from 250 or greater. So, and don't chase a guy who's has a hot putter either, because putting is going to matter. You have to convert the birdie opportunities, but again, if their iron play is struggling and they have a hot putter, that's not sustainable. And you also want to look at the birdie to bogey ratio. The guys with the better birdie to bogey ratio are going to do well here. Kind of think a couple other things here. Some stats just to give you guys. So as far as winners, 4 of the last 6 winners entered the week inside the top 25 in strokes gained off the tee. 5 of the last 6 winners were inside top 50 in driving distance. So that's a pattern there. We talked about scrambling, how that's going to be important, especially with these collection areas now and the runoffs. They're going to have to get creative on the recovery shots if their ball runs off. And you're going to see guys miss greens this week, more than what they have in years past at this tournament. Now, we talked about putting and not to chase guys who catch lightning in a bottle with their putter. So you don't want an average guy. We'll take Jordan Spieth, for example. His putting's been all over the place this year. Should be a lot better than what it is. If he catches lightning in a bottle with his putting, but his iron play is struggling, it's not going to be a good fit. He's most likely not going to sustain that. So putting, 5 of the last 6 winners were inside the top 22 strokes gained putting for the week. And again, you don't want the average putter just getting hot. You don't want to target that. You need guys who are consistently, like I said, in the top 22 of strokes gained putting. As far as who typically wins here, it's not some guy who just gets hot for 1 or 2 days. So if you're building the checklist as maybe some of your bets are cooked and you're trying to reset and live bet this, again, elite approach play is going to matter. Your greens and regulation, but also the proximity, right? Distance, strokes gained off the tee, birdie to bogey ratio, how you're trending as far as putting. That's kind of just to give you guys an idea of what to look for. Like I said, it's pretty much a complete bag. The Donald Ross courses, so this week and next week are both Donald Ross designed courses. And the whole thought behind his design is to make guys strategically think their way through the course and how they maneuver that track, right? And it's going to make guys think, even though, again, this course, it's pretty flat. There's really no elevation, and it's played as the 6th easiest course out of the 50 courses on tour. So, again, seems like it would be easy. And, I mean, you're going to get low numbers. You got a 61 today. I don't know if it's going to go lower than that. If somebody shoots sub 60, I'd be shocked. Maybe you get a 60, but I think 61 is probably as low as you're going to get for this tournament. But, again, guys are going to have birdie opportunities. I'm going to get low scoring. However, just because it's the 6th easiest course on tour and relatively flat, it's going to challenge these guys, especially with repositioning bunkers more downrange and the larger greens and the runoffs and the shelving on the greens. So just be mindful of that as you're live betting. And we also scrambling to me, the iron play, your long and your mid irons, and your scrambling are really the top two. Again, distance does matter, but an average guy who's off, an average driver off the tee, I'm okay with that if he's accurate, right? As long as he's not errant on the shot and is in the fairway. I'd rather have someone who's fairly accurate off the tee and maybe not as long as, say, a Goddard or a Cam Young, right? Because if they're a strong iron player, they're going to get there. So just be mindful of that as you're live betting throughout the weekend, because look, it's you can really there's just so many different ways to live bet this, from round matchups to round score. I mean, you can even bet leaders after each round. So there's a lot of opportunities to win back some of your losses from today if some of your bets are cooked here. But that's what we're looking at as far as the leaderboard. Peter Malnati is your leader. If you had him, good on you, because that was a pretty I forget what the number was, but I know it was a really long number for him as a first round leader. But let's look at some of these shots here from guys today. This one is Russell Henley, his tee shot from 243, and a tap in birdie here for Russell Henley.
Par3 11th. This is getting very interesting. Oh, what a shot by Russell Henley. That'll be a tap-in birdie for Russell Henley to get to 2 under.
So, hell of a shot from Henley. Here's Ricky Fowler, like I said, opening round 63 today. Fowler has done well here in the past. Not surprised here. I am a little surprised that he did as well as he did today, but we do have him for a top 20 finish. I believe it was plus 190, plus 193 for Fowler as a placement finish. But I was surprised at how well he did. So here's a couple shots from Fowler's round today.
First round of the Rocket Classic. Here he is on the par 4 13th, his approach.
Ricky having himself a day today. Love watching him hit these wedge shots. Almost jars that thing, flighted it down a little bit. He's so good at controlling the flight and spin on his wedges.
That birdie would get him to 1 under now on the par 5 14th approach from 242 yards.
Having to go for it, and 2 towering high approach shot here from 242 yards. Gorgeous shot right in the middle of the green, using the slope, getting better by the second. Just a very well executed golf shot, and to pay it off.
I'm going to go back for a second, because you can notice the shelving of these greens. So look at this green, and this is what I'm talking about, where runoff. You see how if they miss here, look at this pin placement. They don't have a lot of room to miss here. There's going to be false fronts as well. So if you look at this, let me see if I can blow this up here. Hopefully that comes through. I can't see because I'm sharing my fucking screen. So hopefully it's fucking there. But you can see here, somebody's ball is right here. But you can see how there's a drop off, right? Let me go back a little bit and actually go forward a little. So there's different layers to this green, all these greens are typically like this, and maybe not as bad, but similar design, similar setup, right? So again, this is what's going to change from last year to this year, and how these greens are going to play. They're larger, yes, but somebody, look at this pin placement. The pin's over here. You could land your shot over here and be 40 feet away for a putt. So that's what I'm talking about with the way these greens are set up here.
Gorgeous shot right in the middle of the green, using the slope, getting better by the second.
Now, Fowler was lucky and caught the slope,
golf shot,
right?
And to pay it off, Ricky for eagle.
The hell,
nothing but the bottom of the cup there. And when Ricky gets that putter hot, y'all better watch out. He can go.
All right, you heard it here first. Better watch out. He got to 3 under there. Now on the par 3 15th birdie putt.
Here we go again, about 18 feet for Ricky. if he starts making those, because he hits it about that length all day long. So it's nice to see Ricky getting that putter hot.
Now on the par 3 fifth, after the birdie on 4, birdie opportunity again.
Again, very similar length putt, right in the middle of the hole, perfect speed. He loves these greens this week up there at Rocket.
And the fans were having a great time, I'm sure, watching him get to 6 under there. Now on the par 4 6th green for birdie.
He's not done yet. This one might be a little longer than the other two. Right in the middle of the hole, Ricky Fowler had himself a day.
Yeah, Ricky Fowler did have himself a day, that's for sure. So looking for that to continue. And here's Rick's thoughts after his opening round, 63.
Yeah, 7 under 63 for Ricky Fowler today, and a good start to your round as well. You played 13 through 16 at 5 under par. How would you assess the overall day today?
Yeah, nice and solid. It's a nice to put together a good round on Thursday and get things going. I feel like in the last couple months I haven't had many great Thursdays, and enough to get going and make cuts, but instead of going into tomorrow and start go the weekend as far as trying to catch back up. So yeah, nice to get off to a good start. Felt like we did a good job kind of across the board. A few offline shots, but for the most part drove it well. Irons were good, and then to make some putts. So I'm happy with today.
Some of your longer approach shots were good too. I think one of the highlights of your round, probably the 14th, coming in from 244 yards. You make eagle. How much momentum did that give you for the rest of the day?
That was definitely a good bonus. I had a good number there with 5 wood back into the wind, and with where the pin was, I kind of had some room to play with. Use the slope and the contours of that new hole there and the new green. Obviously made a nice putt. I was maybe 15 or so feet. But yeah, that was a great little stretch there. I had played those 4 holes 5 under, and then had, I think it was that many, I don't know. Had a good stretch there, and then another 3-hole stretch on the front. So other than that, just tried to kind of manage and keep moving forward.
You mentioned to me at the Deer that you were really working with the putter on your start lines, and since that Open Championship, top 15 in the field with the putter, another good round today. How pleased are you with that work?
Yeah, it's been good. I made a small change this week. Same putter, but just a little less offset. Yeah, we're always trying to look for, something that's potentially better, and feel like we're in a good spot. But who knows? We're, like I said, always trying to get better, but there's been a lot of positives. I'm definitely happy with where we're at right now.
What was easier, this round or the rooftop golf on Tuesday?
This was definitely easier. This is more, what I'm used to looking at and seeing. Hitting off a mat, elevated and gusty winds in between buildings isn't exactly my specialty.
Thanks so much for the time. Best of luck the rest of the week.
Thank you.
If you didn't see, so they did a thing in downtown Detroit. I think it was called Par 3 in the D, and they were hitting off like a rooftop in between the fucking buildings. We showed it yesterday on Tee to Green here, and I don't know how Fowler didn't break a fucking window, but when he hit his tee shot, it hit off the fucking side of a building. And it hit pretty fucking hard. And he didn't shatter a window, but it was quite entertaining. At least he didn't do that today. But interesting to note here, Malnati and Fowler are among only 6 golfers to appear in every edition of this event. Fowler also said it's bittersweet to see this thing coming to an end, and he said he's watched it grow bigger and better each year that they've been here, especially his partnership with Rocket. And Malnati said he's determined to see this tournament return. And he said he's not giving up hope of it coming back. It is a good event. It's a fun event to watch. And this is, like I said, the strongest field they've had since this tournament started. So hopefully it does return. Not sure if we're going to get that or not. And Michael Brennan. So this is a Tommy trend of the day for you. Keep it golf related. Michael Brennan, he was one shy of a consecutive birdie streak. Michael Brennan made 8 straight birdies, holes 5 through 12, finished his day 5 under, longest birdie streak of his career. The record for 9, the PGA Tour record is 9 consecutive birdies, and that record is shared by Mark Calcavecchia and Kevin Chappelle. That's your Tommy trend for the day. So Michael Brennan, 8 straight birdies. He opened with consecutive bogeys on holes 3 and 4. Then he had another bogey on 17, missed a short birdie putt on 18. But look, he ended his opening round inside the top 10. So So good on him for getting it. The 8 straight birdies. That's fucking wild. Looking here, some other notes from this opening round. We said Keegan Bradley and Michael Kim both 5 under. Cam Young got some work to do at 1 under. So he's got to put it together tomorrow if he wants to play weekend golf. Yeah. Nothing else really stuck out. I'm just kind of looking at some of the notes here from the opening round. One thing, so Wyndham Clark throughout, there was something interesting. If you guys were watching, which they should have been doing this for a long time now, but the ESPN Plus coverage, PGA Live or whatever the fuck it's called that they do the streaming on Hulu or ESPN Plus. They started doing something, it started today, I think it's called Quiet Please, where it's a marquee group where all you're getting is the audio between the player and the caddy and all the chatter throughout the round, which they should have done this years ago with Terrell Hatton. And we were on here yesterday, I said, they hopefully don't fuck this up and not have Spieth's group on because, I mean, the chatter between him and Greller is fucking great. And they did have that group on. They also had Wyndham Clark's group on. But before the tournament, Wyndham Clark throws a fucking dart for an opening pitch at the Tigers game.
All right, Wyndham, let's see what you got.
Oh, let's go,
Nice
baby!
heater, Wyndham. Give it up for Wyndham Clark here tonight.
That's your U.S. Open champion, Wyndham Clark, throwing it right down Broadway at the Tigers game. And then this is the, if anyone saw, it is actually pretty cool. I was able to watch some of this today. And it's kind of weird at first because there's no announcers, which after a few minutes, you're like, all right, I don't need the fucking announcers because you're hearing these guys talk. But it is pretty cool when you see this. I hope they do. I hope this is, they said they're trying this out. So I don't know if that means you're going to get this for the rest of the events this season or if this is like a one-off thing and they'll do it more next year. I don't know, but they need to do this every week. So here's a little clip. Now, this is Wyndham Clark hitting from under a tree in the rough. But this is the Quiet Please marquee group. No announcer, just the audio from the golfer and his caddy and the rest of the group they're playing with.
Pins what again?
96 all the way to the pin.
Sitting kind of gnar, but you said that left's fine, huh?
Left's totally fine, yeah.
I mean, I got 7 right now.
Turn that off, please. Huh?
I got 7 right now.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yeah, I am 85. It's going to come out a little slower, but it's down grain. Yes, I am. I'd rather have a little more loft.
Yeah.
It's only 70 front.
All right, we just got to aim towards more center then, huh?
Yeah,
The chip
more
from left's
center,
easier?
and even if you finish on like that tunnel, you'll be uphill to the pin.
All right, I'm going to go at the camera here. Okay. Like that. Perfect. Sit. Sit. Good job.
It's a pretty damn good shot for under the tree in the rough from Wyndham Clark there. So that's kind of what you're getting if you're watching the marquee group. Quiet Please, no announcers. It's just golfers or caddy, and you'll hear fans chatter as well throughout that. So it is pretty cool if you get a chance to check it out. Again, I'm hoping they're running this. I think they're running it all 4 rounds, but hopefully they do this for the rest of this season and then do it every event next season because it's pretty cool. That's pretty much all I got for golf videos. But let's look at go back here. We'll pull up the leaderboard. So let's take a look here. I was looking at some possible. Now, again, these are the FanDuel odds. And again, just shop the lines, make sure you're getting the best number. But instead of pulling up and looking at different books, this kind of just gives you everything right here, the leaders and the odds to take a snapshot here. But so you're still getting good numbers on some of these players. Even Cantley, Fowler, even guys who are sitting back here. If you look at Jackson Suber, Eric Cole, Davis Thompson, he's done well here in the past, 55-1. One of the surprises, Neil Shipley. I was surprised how well he did. If you remember a couple years ago, he had played with Tiger at the Masters, did well there. Haven't really heard too much of Neil Shipley, but look, fired off a 67 today. So maybe you take a Flyers in for a top 20, top 10. But he did well. I was surprised. And look, these guys, Russell Henley, Hideki, Sanjay, these guys all bunched up at 3. All these guys here, Corey Connors, Knapp sitting back here. All these guys I expect to make a move. So I would look at placement. I mean, look, you can take a flyer as far as an outright, but you'll still get some pretty decent numbers as far as placements here with these guys. So I was looking at, pulled up Pikkit here and was kind of looking at head-to-head matchups or round matchups for tomorrow. And a couple things that kind of stood out here. So looking at so the first one here, Jake Knapp is minus 105 head-to-head with Cantley. Look, the way Jake Knapp played toward the end of his round today. Now, Cantley checks the box, and I have an image I'll pull up that kind of is the top 9 guys who kind of check the boxes that we talked about yesterday on TD Green, that we briefly talked about here a few minutes ago as far as what to look for and who checks the boxes and who's a course fit for this. But Jake Knapp has done well here in the past. Look, him and, now Malnati, Jake Knapp, and Michael Thorbjornsen hold the course record. All 3 of those guys shot a 61. Tony Finau has the 72-hole score, 262. And Vegas hung the number for the winning score at 265.5 for this week. So I feel Tony Finau's 262 is safe, but you never know. So again, you're getting a really good price on Knapp head-to-head versus Cantley. Now, Cantley checks a lot of boxes. He's done well here too, but sometimes, like we said yesterday, sometimes it's not just the numbers and how they look. Jake Knapp, the way he played last week and came back and had a really good finish after he struggled a little bit last week and then struggled for most of his round today, but had a good finish. Sometimes it's just the eye test and you see how a guy is playing. Again, nothing against Cantley other than he plays really fucking slow, but Jake Knapp at minus 105 in a head-to-head with Cantley, I do like that. Another one here. Now, Xander has 5 top 10 finishes this year. However, Keegan Bradley, you can get Keegan Bradley at plus 120 on FanDuel in a head-to-head over Xander. Keegan played pretty good today. I do like that. And I also like Harris English, plus 110 in a head-to-head over Matsuyama. Harris English fits this course pretty well. There's also another, I don't know if look, I watched Cam Young play most of his round today, and he just looked again, he's got a lot of work to do. I expect him to come out and play better tomorrow, but you never know. That's the thing. We said it yesterday. It's every week. A guy could check every box of a trend or a characteristic that you're looking for that does well at a specific course, but they could come out and play 2 shit rounds on Thursday and Friday, and they're sent home packing Friday afternoon. So again, sometimes you have to look beyond the metrics or the characteristic and see how the guy's playing. Now, Cam Young, again, struggled a little bit today. Not out of it, but he has work to do. If you like a head-to-head, if you like Jake Knapp, in a head-to-head versus Cam Young tomorrow, plus 125 for Knapp. I'm telling you, Jake Knapp, over the past few weeks, he had a thumb injury. He's played better, and each week he's played a lot better. Like I said, he started off struggling today, but I don't know. I like Jake Knapp a lot here, especially at that plus money, at plus 125. I do like that. There was another one. Now, Wyndham Clark. So, I don't know. He's another one that, like I said, Wyndham Clark's probably been the best golfer since the PGA Championship. It wasn't too long ago that he was 84th in FedEx Cup standings, and now he's 9. Right? So, another thing to note here, I didn't want to take Cam Young as an outright just because the number was short and everybody was on Cam Young this week. But then when I read if Cam Young wins this week, he will kick Rory out of the number 2 spot behind Scheffler. And Cam Young, if he wins this week, will be the number 2 golfer right behind Scheffler. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I hate Rory. So I back Cam Young as an outright. Now, like I said, he has a lot of work to do. But Wyndham Clark, he's been, like I said, I feel like he's been the hottest golfer since Aronimink. And he just looks like he found it. Now, he didn't find it today because he's down here. He's shot a 71 today. He's 1 over. But looking at head-to-heads, I expect Clark to come out and play better tomorrow. But if you like Keegan Bradley, and I like the way Keegan played today, plus 112 in head-to-head over Wyndham Clark, that number is on DraftKings. I do like that as well. So this is what I'm saying. You can get creative and start looking at round matchups. You can even look at like score over or under, and say like, I don't know, 68.5 or whatever the book's hanging that number at. But if you start looking at placements here, like a top 10, let's look at some of these placements here. So guys who've done well here in the past, Fowler, still getting plus money for top 10 with Fowler at plus 100 on DraftKings. Peter Malnati, if you think he's going to regress a little bit and still think he's going to finish inside the top 10, plus 280 on FanDuel. Jake Knapp for a top 10 at plus 300. I like that a lot, just because of his recent play. I do like that. And that is on FanDuel. Now, we talked about Cam Young, how he's 1 under. Plus 340 if you want to take a flyer on Cam Young to finish inside the top 10. A couple other ones here. Just trying to see what else stands out. Let's look at top 5. Fowler for a top 5 plus 205 at DraftKings. Number's kind of short, but now Jackson Suber, he is he's tied for 13th, and I don't know. I like Suber. Again, we took him as a long shot to win this thing, but Suber sitting there, shot a 66 today. He's 4 under, plus 810 as top 5. So 8-1 there for top 5 for Suber. Looking at some other ones here. Now, Davis Thompson, who has done well here in the past, and you can see all these guys bunched up at 300. Davis Thompson right now, like I said, done well here in the past, 3 under after shoots a 67 today. He's almost at a 13-1 for a top 5. I like that number a lot just because of his past play here. It's worth taking a flyer on it. 12.5-1, maybe you can get a 13-1 somewhere. Look, if you want to get really creative, and I like Jordan Spieth. It's just his putting has been a mess this season. But look, Spieth is 2 under, I believe. Yeah, he's 2 under right now. 22-1 for a top 5. I mean, what the hell? Why not? Throw a couple shekels on Spieth. If he can find a putter, Just looking to see if any other ones jump out. If you want to stay the top 20, look, even Spieth for a top 20, which I think is doable. Almost 4.5 to 1 on FanDuel for Spieth as a top 20. I do like that. I think he's gonna look. A 68 isn't bad. He's 2 under. He has the potential to play better, and some of his shots, some of his approach shots were just terrible today. He salvaged some and kept himself in the hunt. Like I said, 2 under, but. So I do like that number at almost 4.5 to 1 for a top 20 for Spieth. Because it wasn't all his putter today. It was some of his approach shots, some of his drives were just his accuracy was off. Yeah, that's kind of where I would look if I'm live betting. I mean, you can take. I mean, certainly, if you want to take an outright, you're still getting a good number on a lot of these guys. But what I typically do is I'll start looking at placements, round scores, the head-to-head matchups as you live bet, and again, just don't get caught up in a number, especially with the greens and regulation number. Don't get caught up in that. Look at their proximity, and don't chase a hot putter somebody who's catching lightning in a bottle who typically does not do well putting. Again, just peel back the number a little bit and look. Just because they're hitting 9 out of 10 greens or whatever the number is, look at their proximity. Look at their scrambling too. Like I said, Spieth hit some errant shots, but he recovered well and salvaged some holes. That means a lot. If you can salvage par after either a shitty approach shot, a shitty drive, that's telling you something. It's just a matter of fine-tuning a couple things and trying to dial it in. It's not like you're completely missing, right? So keep that in mind as you're watching. Don't just get caught up in the number with these guys. So I'm looking here, see if I have anything else as far as picks. No, I just say just be careful as far as peeling back some of these stats a little bit before you fire off a bet. But some of these head-to-heads that we just went over, I like those a lot. I really like Jake Knapp a lot. Again, just recency bias, I guess, and how he's been playing. So, I don't think I have anything else on the Rocket Classic. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So, again, Peter Malnati, you're a winner. Oh, I do want to mention something for live betting. This is where it gets interesting. We talked about the course renovations, restoration, redesign, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So they went from a par 72 to a par 70, right? So it's playing about 50 yards shorter than last, like 73.28. Last year was like 73.68, 73.70, something like that. It's playing a little shorter. But a couple things to note here. So, which this could create some chaos at the end of the front 9 and the end of the back 9. So now you have hole 7 and hole 17. These were par 5s. These are now playing as super long par 4. So number 7 is playing at 505-ish, and 17's around 537. Real long par 4s. So again, that could create some problems as we head into the weekend and head down the stretch in the final round. You could see maybe the tournament's won and lost here with these super long par 4s. And again, this is where this course design is going to make guys really think. And that's what the whole concept of a Donald Ross design course is. It's to make you think and go through your bag to navigate and get through the track, right? That's really the whole idea behind it. And when you get these long par 4s, especially the end of the front and the end of the back, you could see the tournament possibly flip. Maybe guys tomorrow struggle on those holes, and that can make or break whether they're playing weekend golf or whether they're firing up the private jet and heading out of Detroit. So keep that in mind as you're live betting too. Could also go the other way. Maybe maybe somebody's doing well and they're coming down the front, and as you're live betting, you're getting a good number. Again, just be careful of those holes, and I think it could get a little crazy. Now, there's also just 2 par 5s, number 4 and number 14. 14 is where you're going to see the notable change. If you remember, hole 14, there used to be a pond in front of the green. That's now filled in with native grass. That was the only water hazard on the course. So there's no water on this course. It's flat and there's no water. So compared to last week, it's a hell of a lot easier, but still, it's tough. But again, 14, no more water. It's now just native grass that's filled in the front where the pond used to be. So again, just keep that in mind too. And it's only 2 par 5s. So par 4 scoring is going to matter here. You only have, typically you're going to gain strokes on par 5s, but it's only 2 of them now. And like I said, 7 and 17 are now super long par 4s. And we did say they added 7 more bunkers, but they moved them more down range with this redesign. So keep that in mind as you're live betting, finding out bets. Just look inside the number before you just hammer on a guy is my advice. Especially, like I said, with this, even though guys played, like Fowler's played well here in the past, Davis Thompson's played well here in the past, I don't think this course was completely flipped upside down that it's going to change. It's not, because Patrick Cantlay is another one who's played well. These guys who played well here in the past are still doing well. It's just some of these changes could create some nuances depending upon where their approach shot is coming from. So keep that in mind as you're firing off live bets throughout the weekend at what could be the final Rocket Classic. Let's shift gears here. You know what? Let me show you this before we get out of here. This is the chart that I was talking about of checking boxes. So when we went through this yesterday on Tee to Green, we said we looked at a couple of things: current form, course history here, comparable courses like Silverado, Innisbrook was one. How these guys are doing off the tee, their approach play, their long irons, putting, par 4 scoring, because we just talked about there's only par 5s, and typically on a course, you're making up shots on par 5s. So again, we kind of, and there's no weight to this. We just kind of checked boxes on the guy. And look, the A minus, it's fucking my grading, right? So maybe you say, well, the guy should get an A, not an A minus. That's fair. But again, there's no wrong or right answer. It's basically how many boxes are you checking? So if you look at Siwoo Kim, he doesn't have really a lot of historical data here, but he checks every other box, right? And then you have Jake Knapp, who hasn't fared well at similar courses, but it checks every other box. And then there's Wyndham Clark, who doesn't have a history here and hasn't done well at comparable courses, or we call it a strong fit, neutral, or a weakness. So he's neutral, let's say. But again, it's not fucking green. So Wyndham Clark gets a B+. Jackson Suber, his approach play has been weak, and obviously the young kid doesn't have history playing here, so he gets a B-. So we kind of went through, and how we came up with these 9 is yesterday on Tee to Green, the full betting guide that's up on our YouTube page at OTH Sports Pod. We went through this, and these metrics, characteristics, trends, whatever you want to call it, the names that were repeating on history, the current form, how they're doing coming into this, the last 36 rounds they played, how they're doing off the tee, approach play. You can see the categories there. If the names were repeating in those categories, they made the list of the top 9 here, right? And again, doesn't mean anything. They could, Wyndham Clark, 1 over, he could be going home tomorrow if he doesn't improve, right? But again, his game and recent form and whatnot, it fits the course. It's just a couple of things he was kind of neutral on. So again, just kind of wanted to show you where we got our information from, how we graded it. This isn't like it's not a fucking calculus that went into this and fucking threw it in Excel. It was just checking boxes, and Cam Young gets an A+ because he checked all the boxes. You say, well, why doesn't Patrick Cantlay get an A+ when he checks all the boxes? Well, again, I look at Cam Young and how he's done this year on tour, how he's performed recently. Now, Cantlay's been, look, he hasn't been bad. He hasn't been great. He's just been even keel. His game fits. So I felt like giving a nod to Cam Young because of how he's played this year and how he's played a little bit better recently coming into this tournament. So that's why he gets the A+. So before anyone starts banging on me and why Cantlay checked all the boxes, didn't get an A+. That's my rating. If you feel Cantlay gets an A+, okay. I would argue after today, I probably should have given Cantlay a fucking A+ because he played very well today. And that's why we took him as a first-round leader. Now, came close, but no cigar. But again, he's done well here in the past. So again, that's kind of how we came up with this. But all right, so that's enough golf. The full tournament betting guide is up on our YouTube page at OTH Sports Pod. There's chapters there, bookmarks, so you can kind of just flip through it, and you don't have to listen to the whole fucking thing. If you want to just hit a certain section, just hit the fucking chapter, and it takes you there. So a couple news and notes from college football. Well, if you haven't seen this is getting fucking wild. I have a feeling like once this hits the NFL, this is going to be crazy. So in January, the NCAA opened up a new revenue stream for schools. So Division I programs can now sell ads on uniforms, equipment, apparel during non-championship competitions. So again, it's going to be like fucking NASCAR with patches. So now college jerseys are becoming prime real estate for advertising. Now, prior to Notre Dame's deal, Ohio State had the mark, but now Notre Dame has eclipsed that, and reports are that they have an $18 to $20 million per year deal for 6 years with SoFi. So now the SoFi logo is going to be appearing on all Fighting Irish uniforms. This is fucking crazy. Look, I understand the whole revenue stream and supports the athletes and this whole NIL thing, because these schools got to get money from somewhere to support all this NIL money. So I just have a feeling these uniforms will start looking like fucking NASCAR soon. Now again, they're not the first one. Ohio State, there was somewhere around $17 million per year for their deal. Actually, Ohio State, Illinois, Michigan State, and Wisconsin, all those were around $17 million per year. And those teams, Ohio State, Illinois, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Chase is the jersey patch partner for all those programs at those schools. Now, it's not just football. These are everything for those schools. It's valued at 5 years, $30 million for football, basketball, volleyball, baseball, softball, soccer, and golf, and also some coaches' apparel as well. And that is for Illinois. So Ohio State, $17 million. Chase is a sponsor. Illinois is a 5-year, $30 million. And then you have, so Michigan State, they have a 10-year deal with the Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. That seems like some kind of fucking money laundering. If the school's credit union is back in the patch on the jersey and funneling money. But what, a 10 years, $40 million total. That's for all 23 teams there. It just seems odd that the credit union's doing that. The Wisconsin financial terms were not disclosed. But again, apparently it's Kohl Center is, I believe that's going to be the sponsor. Or it might be Culver, actually. I couldn't find too much on Wisconsin. But again, Notre Dame, $18 million. It's 18 to 20 million for the next 6 years. SoFi going to have a patch on Notre Dame jerseys moving forward. So, it also says, I don't know what Notre Dame's For Forever promise is, where the fuck that is, but I guess the money that they get is going to use for this Notre Dame's For Forever. I'm not a fucking Notre Dame fan, so I don't know. But apparently it's some, I don't know, some organization they have where this 18 to 20 million, some of that money is going to get funneled there. Fucking wild. This whole NIL thing is, somebody's got to get a handle on this. I feel look, these kids should get paid, but this shit's getting out of control. Some other schools, Arkansas and Tyson Foods, $100 million. Now, Tyson, their chairman denied reports that it's valued at a $100 million deal with Arkansas to have their logo plastered all over those teams' uniforms. But they have acknowledged they are the school's official partner, but they're denying the value of the deal. But Arkansas Tyson Foods, you'll start seeing all their shit on uniforms. LSU and Woodside Energy, all 21 programs there, will now have Woodside Energy patches on their jersey. Cal and Dialpad, an AI company, all 30 Cal programs, they're going to have Dialpad plastered all over it. BYU, fucking even the Mormons are selling out. Whatever the fuck Entrada is, their name's going to be all over BYU shit. Oklahoma State and the Osage Nation. Now, to me, that makes sense, but I feel like it should go the other way around. We should probably be paying money to the Osage, or the school should be paying money to the Osage Nation, not the other way around. But maybe the Osage Nation have a bunch of casinos and money to throw around for Oklahoma State. But it just seems like we stole the land from the Indians, and now they're paying Oklahoma State to get on the jersey. Whatever. Kansas and Ripple, no idea what the fuck that is, but 5-year deal to have their name plastered all over Jayhawks jerseys. Let's see what else. You're also going to get in the Big 12 Monster Energy Big 12 football and Monster Energy Big 12 basketball. Now, people are already criticizing. They're not criticizing the Big 12 selling out. They're criticizing that the Big 12 sold too much inventory for too little. So who the fuck knows? But again, that's what you're going to see this season. Looks like across all these schools, all sports, they're going to have these companies' names plastered all over it. It's going to look like a fucking NASCAR uniform at some point. If this comes to the NFL, as a cash cow as it is, if we start seeing this shit in the NFL, it's just going to, I just think it's stupid. But I get why these schools are doing it, because they got to pay these kids insane amounts of money. And some of these kids are making more money in college than they would in the NFL. It's just wild. So yeah, we'll see how this turns out, and I'm sure more schools are going to hop on board. So yeah, it should be interesting to see what happens, and this money is going to get out of control too. I can see companies will get in bidding wars for jerseys and apparel and whatnot, and coaches' uniforms and shit, and this could really be a bidding war. But some other news and notes from the NFL training camps. All training camps are in action. Panthers, Nick Scorton tore his ACL. He gone. Brian Breesy, Saints defensive tackle. He also appears to have torn an ACL. He gone. Saints season was really over before he even starts. So Chris Brazzell, Panthers wideout LCL tear. He's going to seek a second opinion. He's going to miss the whole season. Some thought it was initially going to be 8 weeks, but he gone. Shamar Stewart's leg buckled. He was carted off yesterday. Hyperextended knee, no ligament damage is what they say. So who knows? But right now he's out. Some QBs to note. Of course, we have Tua. Can't even get through fucking a couple days of camp. He's already dealing with an undisclosed injury. Falcons get the short end of the stick there, and they have now gone and turned to Michael Penix. He's not been cleared. He's working back, if you remember, from a torn ACL. So he suffered that week 11 of last season. So Penix out. Tua out, but we don't know why. Your starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons will be Cooper Rush. Good luck with that. 49ers, there's mixed reports from the 49ers amongst everything else going on with that fucking organization and Kyle Shanahan, but they're pretty banged up, and camp just started. Ricky Pearsall, there's mixed reports. Either I've seen they don't expect him back at all this year, and there's some reports saying in mid-season, it's all mixed. But whatever the case may be, he's out indefinitely right now, PCL injury, and again, mixed reports on time frame for his return, but he's still being evaluated. Jordan James, fractured rib, so he's out, and Malik Mustafa, he missed yesterday's practice, hamstring strain, so that's most likely the less severe there. Eagles re-signed Jalen Carter, and the Vikings making some moves to beef up their offensive line, so they're not going to have, hopefully not have 60, and hopefully not going to give up 60 sacks again this season. They did Brian O'Neill, 4-year, $96 million contract extension, so hopefully that they're shoring up that offensive line there for Kyler Murray. But those are some news and notes. There is one clip I have. If you haven't seen this, the Baker Mayfield situation. This is going to get interesting here in Tampa. So if you follow this, Baker, final year of his deal, he's been vocal that he wants to stay in Tampa. He's raising his kids in Tampa, loves the area, wants to stay. The Bucs don't seem to be too receptive to keep Baker. Look, I don't understand what the deal is with Baker. The kid wins. Look, he got drafted by a shit team in Cleveland. Did well with Carolina. I mean, we all remember the game, the Monday night game with the Rams. He knew like 5 plays, and Sean McVay helped them. They won the game. He did well there, and he's done well in Tampa. Look, first of all, Tampa needs to move on from fucking Todd Bowles. That experiment should have ended years ago. But for whatever reason, he's still the fucking head coach. And it seems like they're giving Baker the short end of the stick here. This is Baker Mayfield today. He literally scorched the Tampa Bay front office in this video. This is fucking wild. This is going to get interesting because he don't give a fuck. He's just going to let it fly and tell it like it is. And you know what? Good on him, because he's made it vocal. He wants to stay there. He's proven that he can win. And let's be honest, their options that they had at backup quarterback were shit. Now, if he wasn't there, I'm sure they would have had somebody else. But the time that Baker's been there, he's played his ass off, and he's won them games that they shouldn't have won, whether you like the guy or not. But here's Baker Mayfield today at his press conference here. This is fucking wild. Here you go, Baker Mayfield. He signs a kid's jersey, and then he goes fucking scorched on the Bucs front office.
Sweetheart. How you doing? Great. Not a whole lot been going on, guys. What are you doing?
You guys, you set the deadline, and you're done talking apparently. Just how disappointed are you couldn't bring that to fruition based on what you've done the last 3 years, and what are your feelings about it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've told you guys I've been pretty upfront and honest about my feelings about Tampa. It being home for now our family. We're raising kids here. We love it here. Wanted the deal done and set the deadline and told them it was going to be all ball after that. And I did mean that. And I don't know if they thought I was just going to take some of the offers that they gave, but I'm at the point of my career and understanding what I've brought to this franchise. One, I'm very, very thankful for the chance they gave me. Do not get me wrong on that. But I've also I really know what I've brought to this franchise leadership wise, and even play-wise. It's been some of the best years of my career, and I think it's only going to trend upwards, just being comfortable and feeling that. So disappointing in that regard to not have, to feel disrespected a little bit. And that's really the disappointing part, to feel undervalued after, thinking you've earned it. This is not a poor me thing. There's a lot of other people that have it way worse off, but I can sit here and look at other quarterbacks and peers and evaluate myself based on that and put myself in certain categories that I deserve to be compensated for that. And I think I'm a franchise quarterback. I've been told I'm a franchise quarterback. It's been said publicly from ownership down here. And so to not have a deal done is very disappointing. But I said the deadline was a deadline, and I addressed the team to let them know I meant that. It's all ball. I'm with these guys. I think all the guys that have been here know exactly who I am. The guys that are new here, I wanted to address that because they might have had a notion prior to coming here about who I am as a person. But it's all team. It's all about winning here now and what we're going to do. And hopefully Vita gets his back fixed and gets his deal done. I mean, he's the second longest tenured Buck behind CG, and Vita deserves that. He's the anchor of our defense, and so I hope they take care of him. It's disappointing to say the least, but it's all ball here, and I know I'm going to have a good year. I know this team, the things that we went through last year, put us in a good spot for this year. Depth-wise, a lot of guys being thrown to the fire to be able to grow and learn fast. And it didn't go the way we wanted, but it's a new season, and it's going to help us in the long run this year. Added some new pieces, and so I'm excited about it. It's all ball from here. After today, I'll answer a few more questions about the contract, but after today, I'm not answering anymore because I'm not negotiating anymore.
You're never out of shoulder chips, but in some way, Baker Mayfield's always bet on himself.
Yeah.
To do it again.
Good on him. I guess the front office thought he was calling their bluff and gave him a deadline, so he's not going to talk anything after that. And good on him. Look, like I said, whether you like Baker or not, he's played his ass off there. He's won them games, and it seems like he's getting a raw deal. I can't blame the guy. But again, we'll see what happens with Baker Mayfield here. And the Tony Romo situation keeps evolving and keeps unfolding. This is another video from the body cam. Now, again, there's lots of pieces to this puzzle that we still need to figure out. I don't agree with the cop here. So if you haven't seen the body cam footage, he's pulled over on the highway. They take him to what appears to be the police station, a parking garage at the police station. They take him off the highway. They said it's not level. There's too much traffic. They take him to do the field sobriety test at what appears to be the police station, precinct, whatever. And they conduct the field sobriety test. They said he failed. They arrest him. They put him back in the car. Now, when you look at this fucking car, this looks like a police cruiser built for fucking midgets, right? Again, they also found open bottles of alcohol in his car when they searched it. I don't know. He initially declined the breathalyzer test, the blood work. I don't know if he went to get that done or not. That hasn't come out yet. But nonetheless, he does seem to appear when you watch the video. He seems a little off when you watch all the videos. But this one just came out after he's been arrested after failing the field sobriety test. Why they put him back in the police car, I have no idea. But all he's doing here is asking if he can get out of the. He's handcuffed, by the way. Ask if he can get out of the car and stand up. And this is the officer's response. Absolutely fucking mind. Where the fuck is he going to go? This is their response. Unbelievable.
All right.
Hey.
Mr. Romo, do you mind if I read you something? If I open the door, you're not going to try to get out, are you?
If you let me get out, I'd love to stretch, but
Well, can't
whatever
technically
you want
let
me
you.
to do,
Okay.
I'll do.
All right.
Whatever you want me to do. You've already won today, so whatever you want.
All right, sir. So I have to read you the informing the accused.
Is it possible for me to stand up while you do this? Just get out of here for a second.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I really have had 2 back surgeries. I'm not
Okay.
it's not an exaggeration.
All right. So how about this? I'll meet you halfway. I'll open the door. You can swing your legs out. That way you're a little more comfortable, okay?
That's great.
How you doing?
You are a
Great.
taller individual,
Not a whole lot
so
been
we're
going on,
willing to
guys.
work
How
with
you
you.
doing?
Just stay seated
Yes,
just like
I
that,
will.
please,
You
okay?
guys, you set the deadline, and
Don't get up. Perfect. I don't want the door to hit you.
Are you couldn't bring that
All right.
to fruition based on what you've done the last
All
3
right.
years? And what are your feelings about it?
All right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've told you guys I've been pretty upfront and honest about my feelings about Tampa. It being home for
fuck Baker
now our
Mayfield's playing
family,
again,
we're
but
raising
we're gonna
kids.
shut him off. Jesus fuck. That's why we need a producer. Anybody want to be a fucking producer? No experience required because I have none. Just need to click a couple buttons that I can't, obviously. Let us go back to this fucking Tony Romo thing for a second here. So Tony Romo, if you look, you can kind of see. Can you imagine if Shaquille O'Neal was in the back of this police car? There's other videos where you can see how tight it is back there. Now, Tony Romo, what is he, 6'5", 6'6", 6'4"? He's not. It's kind of funny because in the other video, she says, you're a taller fella. And now she's a taller individual, but she called him a fella. He's a taller fella. But look how you can just see. I don't know. There's a better video that shows how fucking close this shit is. He can't even fit in the fucking thing. The problem now, if you watch the other videos, Tony Romo was kind of being a smart ass. Wasn't belligerent. The only thing he refused is he just said, my lawyers have said don't take the breathalyzer test. The field test anyway. So that's the only thing he declined. He cooperated with them. He asked questions. He seemed a little off answering some of the questions. Whatever. But he wasn't belligerent. He wasn't resisting anything. He was compliant, at least in my opinion, for the most part. And all he was asking to do, the guy's handcuffed. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why he was in the back of the police car. Again, it appears that they're at the police station doing the field sobriety test. They arrest him. They handcuff him. They put him in the police car. I have no idea why they didn't put him inside. Or, I don't know. Whatever. All he's asking to do is stand the fuck up. He's handcuffed. It appears they're in a parking garage. It's enclosed somewhere. Even if he takes off, where the fuck's he going to go? He's handcuffed. Let the fucking guy stand up. He clearly, when you watch the other videos, one of them's like 6 minutes. You can find them on the fucking inner Google and check it out. Or you can go back and watch it on T to Green yesterday. We went through the whole thing. But look, he was compliant. He wasn't being an ass. Some of his comments were kind of being a smart ass. But he wasn't a threat. Where's he going to go? I mean, he followed every instruction, direction that they gave him while conducting the test. He was asking, can I do this? Can I stretch? Because they took him off the highway to wherever this undisclosed location is. And he's sitting there in the back of the car. When he gets out, he's like, I've had back surgeries, which that's documented. Anybody knows who has back issues, when you're sitting for a long time, especially in a cramped spot, your back's going to tighten up. So he's asking, before they make him play Twister for a field sobriety test, he's asking if he can stretch. They let him stretch. Now all he's asking to do is, can I get out of the fucking car and stand here while you read me whatever you're going to read me? And I think there's a little bit overboard that they wouldn't let him stand. Again, there's a lot of holes to this story. Probably more holes than fucking Swiss cheese at this point, because we're just trying to connect the dots here. But all the video that I've seen that's come out, I have not seen any indication that Tony Romo was a threat, was a complete jerk off. Look, let him just stand up. I don't get it. I don't understand. So more to come, I guess, on this whole Tony Romo situation. The latest from CBS, multiple people there at CBS saying his job is not on the line. He will not be fired. Could possibly take a short leave. Again, more to come. Whatever fallout comes from this, if there's more shit that turns up, maybe he will be fired. But as of now, multiple people from CBS say that not getting fired. He won't be fired for this. Maybe a short leave. So, again, that's the latest on the Tony Romo situation there. And also, we have breaking news. This Kyle Shanahan story is a complete fucking mess. But allegedly now, I believe it's Santa Clara Police Department, they are now withholding. So multiple requests from multiple media outlets have come in to get the body cam footage and the reports and anything related to this whole incident with Kyle Shanahan and this car accident and the mystery that looms over this thing. Well, now they're saying they're denying the request, and they're saying that due to privacy issues, they cannot release the body cam footage. And this whole thing is a fucking disaster. It's a complete disaster, and it could have been avoided if they would have got in front of it instead of letting it sit there for 2 weeks. And other media outlets like ESPN and fucking Pro Football Talk and those nitwits over there, Florio and Chris Sims and Schefter at ESPN, these fucking clowns. Look, you don't get to pick and choose what the story is and dictate the narrative. If you're a true journalist, you'll report the fucking story with no bias and just report the facts that you have, and you don't sit on something like that. For a guy who had 40 stitches, nearly apparently lost his, close to losing his eye, 40 stitches, a concussion, fucking rib fractures, all this shit, it's pretty fucking serious to sit on something like that. And why are you sitting on something if it was an accident? Because accidents happen all the time. But now this plot thickens as the police department denying all requests for body cam footage and any other reports or anything having to do with Kyle Shanahan. So who knows if we'll ever get the true story, because they buried this shit for 2 weeks. But if you're all not aware, I guess, I don't know if he's back at practice. He was at the team facility. The 49ers named interim coach Chris Forster as the interim coach. If that name rings a bell, you probably know where I'm going with this. If it doesn't, go on the inner Google and type in Chris Forster. And, well, you know what? I believe I might have the Jim Rome video. Jim Rome scorched this fucking guy. Let me, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but Chris Forster has a past. Give me a sec. I believe I do have the video. But Chris Forster, so when the 49ers hired him as an assistant coach, it really wasn't publicized when they hired him. And which, when you see the video, it makes sense. And now them is kind of they kind of just said, "Oh yeah, Chris Forster's running the show here." Well, let me get you this Jim Rome video here.
It is your favorite time. 10.
Yeah, shut up. So, Chris Forster was once an assistant coach for the Miami Dolphins. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is back in 2017. Chris Forster is right here. This is from good old Adam Schefter, this fucking clown. All these people have their pockets lined by somebody, and they're not really doing their job as a journalist. I digress. I've seen better investigative reports in journalism from podcasts than fucking Adam Schefter and these talking heads at these fucking networks. But nonetheless, we're not here for that. But as you can see here, Chris Forster is assuming duties while Kyle Shanahan recovers from this fucking car accident. So let's fast forward a little. This is 2017, I believe. He was with the Miami Dolphins. I forget, was he? I don't know. He might have been an offensive line coach there. I forget what his position was with the fucking Dolphins. But if you remember, this is a video. I'm going to play the audio in a second, but I'm going to set it up. Chris Forster, this is him videotaping himself. He's ripping rails of Bolivian marching powder right off his desk at the Dolphins team facility before practice. And I believe this is 2017, maybe 2018. This actually cost him his job. This guy is at the helm now of the 49ers while Kyle Shanahan recovers. Again, the guy went to rehab, allegedly is clean. But how this guy... I'm all for second chances for people. It's fine. You mean to let's say Kyle Shanahan doesn't coach at all this year. I don't know. We don't even know the severity of his injuries at this point. You can't believe anything coming out of San Francisco or anybody in ESPN, NFL Network, Pro Football Talk. They're all clowns. I'll tell you who's doing a good job. Tony Farmer. I believe he's in the Bay Area. He has a podcast. He's been covering this shit. Go check out Tony Farmer on YouTube, and he'll give you better info. I don't know the guy. I don't know him from fucking Adam. I just happened to go down that rabbit hole of this whole thing and noticed him presenting details. And he took a lot of heat for reporting this when it came out because he's right there in the area. But he's been doing a hell of a lot better job than these talking heads at these fucking networks could ever do. And he's just presenting the facts that he has in front of him as a native out there, somebody living there in the area, and giving it to you firsthand. Whereas people like Schefter and these nitwits are just buddy-buddy with whoever and just pick and choose shit. But again, this guy should not be the point person, the interim coach, after he was doing this with the while he was employed with the Miami Dolphins. Jim Rome does great commentary, by the way, with this.
Both on camera and inside an NFL facility to send to, well, whoever was on the other end of that. Because he was clearly speaking to someone as he was hoovering all that booger sugar.
Booger sugar.
Whoever Babe is.
Hey, babe.
Anyway, we're showing the graphics of what he said, and the subtitles are there, and they're absolutely incredible. If you run that back to the beginning, XCR, I'll actually read them. Here he is on camera blasting rails. Play with the sound if you don't mind. I mean, this guy's blasting rails of the Bolivian marching powder. Roll it.
Hey, babe. Miss you. Thinking about you. How about me going to a meeting and doing this before I go?
How about that, Coach?
Look at dripping out of his fucking $20
That is
bill.
wild as hell. I agree with you.
And there's those big grains falling, but I miss you. I miss you a lot.
Thanks for referencing the big rains falling, but that's true. Bro, you have like boulders falling out your beak.
No, babe. It's going to be a while before we can do this again.
What?
Because I know you're going to keep that baby.
Oh, God.
But I think about you when I do it. I think about how much I miss you, how high we got together, how much fun it was. So much fun. The last little bit before I go to my meeting.
Holy crap.
Is that fucked up, babe?
File this again under audio bites that we played over the years that sound amazing, but when you match it up to the video, it's absolutely insane. That's an NFL assistant running video of himself in the Dolphins facility blasting rails of snow.
Yep. There you go. This guy right here, Chris Forrester. Let's rewind. Chris, yeah, I got a little taste, a little something. There you go. This guy right here is the interim head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. What a fucking circus. And again, I'm all for people that, look, go to rehab, clean yourself up. It's fantastic. I don't know if this guy should be the face of the franchise in this situation. This situation is a mess from all different angles. Not only did you withhold the story, and cops are now withholding body cam footage. There's all types of speculation on what actually happened. And the interim coach was the former Dolphins coach who was ripping lines of booger sugar before a fucking team meeting, talking to some girl. So the backstory of this, and you can go into Inner Google and you can pull it up. He allegedly, and I don't know if he's still with this girl or not. Apparently the girl leaked the video. He was with the girl. I don't know if it was a wife, girlfriend, ex-wife, whatever, apparently were, I believe, in Vegas together, and they were partaking in some party favors while there, which is what he was referencing in the video comment to her about he had fun doing it with her. He said about keeping the baby. Maybe he knocked her up. But again, she then, I guess they had a falling out, and she then leaked this video of him ripping rails before Dolphins meeting while he was employed by the Miami Dolphins. And now Chris Forster is the head coach, or the interim head coach, while the 49ers try to sort out the Kyle Shanahan mess. That's not good optics. This is literally a fucking 3-ring circus in San Francisco. Not to mention the injuries that we went over that they already have in fucking camp, and they're always fucking banged up. And now you have this to tackle as training camps are underway, and they're expected to be one of the teams contending for a division title there. Possibly some people haven't gone to the Super Bowl, but again, probably not now. I don't know. This is going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. But I just thought that it was kind of funny with the Jim Rome commentary and his take on it. But the fact that Chris Forster is running a football team. But again, I'm not against second chances for people. Everybody makes mistakes. We're all human. I just think the optics don't look that good. If this was a normal situation, Kyle Shanahan is out. He's sick. You got Chris Forster moving in. Okay. But not a good way to look at things in San Francisco. And again, if you want more details on this, I believe his podcast is Tony Talks. Or just look up Tony Farmer podcast on YouTube. Again, I just found him as going down YouTube and looking for news on this situation when it broke, and it happened to stumble upon him. I think he does a great job as not a talking head from a network. He's just reporting what he knows from being there in the area. So if you want more, go down that rabbit hole and watch his stuff. I think it's good, or just watch Jim Rome. Yeah, I guess more to come on the Kyle Shanahan mess here. And we'll see what develops and what becomes this mess as Chris Forster is now leading things in San Francisco. Couple other things here before I get the fuck out of here. We do have this. This is okay. Those who are new here, we will never. Like, I can't stand it. And again, it's not sexist before somebody says that. I just think the league itself is complete fucking trash. We'll never talk WNBA on this program. Never bet on WNBA. Never go to a WNBA game. I can respect that they're athletes, but this league is a complete fucking clown show. More of a clown show than the 49ers, by the way. We will, though, however, bang on the WNBA when they do stupid shit. And when they've just been in the news a lot lately, and the way they're conducting the league is a complete train wreck. You can go back a few weeks ago when the commissioner declined to sit with Dan Patrick on his show, and who does an interview with Dan Patrick? He's probably one of the best people. One of the remaining people in sports media who is a true journalist and probably one of the best interviewers. And she had a time booked to sit with Dan Patrick while they were at the fucking golf champion tournament out there in Lake Tahoe, whatever the fuck it's called. And had an interview booked. She stood him up, and she was probably like a couple hundred feet from the set of the interview where she was supposed to be at. She's hitting fucking golf shots out of a bunker or some dumb shit. So that's the first thing. And then all this shit with Caitlin Clark or whatever. But again, anytime we can rip on the WNBA, we will. You won't hear us ever talk WNBA unless we're banging on them. If you haven't seen this, you can check this guy out at Mike_Dadino. His shit's fucking fire. His videos. He breaks it down. This is the WNBA has apparently since pulled this tweet that they send out. Now, this is illegal by league rules. This is gambling within the WNBA. This is a complete fucking clown show. This organization is just a complete fucking mess here. Let me get you the video. Here we go. This is a post from the WNBA that has since been pulled down.
Did you guys see Angel Reese and Paige Buckets make a bet in the game that they played against each other tonight? So the WNBA social media team, fucking a bunch of geniuses, they post this video of Angel Reese and Paige Buckets making a $400 bet on their game tonight.
If y'all lose, I get to have that. If y'all win, you get $400. And if we lose, then you get. No, you owe me $400.
And believe it or not, you're not allowed to do this. And in the WNBA rulebook, it clearly says if you are guilty of wagering money on the outcome, score, or any aspect of a WNBA game, you will get fined, suspended, or disqualified. And obviously everybody knows Pete Rose, banned from the Hall of Fame for betting on his team to win. Calvin Ridley, suspended for a year for betting on NFL games. So explain to me what the difference is of that and betting $400 on a game that both of these ladies right here played in. This is not good, man. Did you?
Oh God! What a clown show! How the fuck has the WNBA been around for 30 years? This league needs to go fucking bankrupt, or somebody needs to get a hold of this fucking situation. And they need to completely clean house here. What the fuck are we doing? Like, literally. Like, what is happening? I mean, then they wonder why people, the commissioner, clearly not fit to be the commissioner of that league. You know, stands up Dan Patrick for an interview, and now and then the other shit with Caitlin Clark and all the other shit that's going on with that. Now you have this whole betting incident. Is anybody looking into this at all? Anyone? Fucking Bueller?
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Anybody? Hello. Clearly, it's in the rule book. You cannot bet on spot. No shit. But yet they tweet out these two players wagering against a game that they're playing in. Unfucking believable. What a time to be alive. And somehow people go to these games and support this shit ass fucking product in this shit ass league. Look, I respect soccer players and athletes that play soccer. I don't know shit about fuck when it comes to soccer. I respect the athlete. I would rather watch soccer than watch this fucking mess of a league. And now you have this. This is what people like you and everyone who's watching, as whether you're a casual sports bettor, expert handicapper, wherever you fall, or you're just a sports fan in general, right? This is where a sports bettor, whether, again, casual to expert handicapper, sharp bettor, this is where this industry gets a bad name with shit like this. The fucking league is doing this shit when it goes against all the laws, all the rules in their handbook. And then this is where, like I said, bettors, like everyone here watching, gets a fucking bad rap because they do shit like this, which is fucking diabolical that they do this. And then they're still in existence, and they've existed for 30 years. I don't know. They can't be making money. I don't know who is funneling money to keep this thing afloat, but the fact that there is no investigation, or at least I haven't heard of an investigation on this fucking mess between these two nitwits placing a bet, it's fucking wild. It's absolutely wild. What a time to be alive. Look, I'd hate to see a league fold, because again, they're athletes and it's what they want to do, and whether you're male, female, whatever, it's a professional league. I'd hate to see it collapse, but somebody's got to come in and take over this thing and right this ship and clean this mess up, because this league is a fucking mess. And I don't even want to get into the shit that I saw that happen at the what's the team called? The Seattle Storm? Is that the Seattle team? That's a whole other mess. We might get into that tomorrow. So I don't have the shit prepared for that, but that's a whole other mess that they're going through now. With this league's a fucking mess. But yeah, apparently, if you're a WNBA player, you can just bet amongst yourselves in games that you play in and just tweet it out. And it's okay, even though it goes against everything in your rule book. It's a fucking Wild West, apparently, with WNBA. Somebody's got to get a handle on that. But, God, do I have any more fucking nonsense sports news? We went through Tony. Oh, I do. Well, all right, so I got one more before I get out of here. I'll give you a little Tommy's take here. What I want to know is when did this become a press conference question? And this is kind of a two-parter. LPGA golfer Charlie Hull played a little prank on her caddy. So she explains the prank, and then we'll show the follow-up to this.
And it's good because I love playing for money, I'm not going to lie. Like, that's why I think I play so well in the majors, because even if I'm quite a lot behind, I'm like, come on, lads, let's make loads of birdies today, extra dollars for me and him to get. Actually, talking of money today, I was in went to a prank shop in Blackpool last night, and I got some scratch cards. So we go into the players' lounge this morning, and I was like, lads, I got some scratch cards from the shop. He was like, yeah. This one was like $100,000. And we've got it all on record. He's like scratching it. He's like, oh my gosh, I've won. He's taken his hat off. He's taken his glasses off. He's literally running around the players' lounge saying, I've won $100,000. I'm taking today off. His face looked so happy. He was sweating. He was trembling. He couldn't believe his luck. And then we had to tell him it was fake, and he nearly quit the job. I've got it all on camera, to be fair. I'll try and find it and I'll send it to somebody, but it's just absolutely hilarious. Like, I don't know if you guys can see, this was his reaction when he thought he won £100,000, and it was just hilarious. I think, like, he's like high-fiving everybody. He's so funny. He's like, swear to God, I can't believe I won 100 grand. But yeah, I felt bad, but now I've got to have my backup because I don't know what he's got in store for me to pay back.
100 grand? 100 grand.
Really, John?
What it is? I swear to God. 100, yeah? It's 100. Find a cash bag to win a prize. He's found a cash bag with 100,000 on it. Find it, play to you, mate. Fair play to you.
Dinner's on you.
Good shot. Give it in. Hold it.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I laughed my ass off the first time I watched that. Like, one of my buddies handed me a fake scratch off. I scratched the fucking thing off. And it says I won a couple $100,000, $1 million. And then they tell me it's a fucking joke. First of all, I probably punched him in the dick. And then I laughed my ass off. I'm like, all right, you got me, you fucking idiot. Look, she's joking with her caddy. They're fucking around. It's a prank. I mean, are we not allowed to prank people? So you're probably thinking, what the fuck am I showing a prank video for? Oh, because there's a story. Because apparently, we're not allowed to prank people anymore. Allegedly. And, of course, the media has follow-up questions on a fucking prank. Here we go.
100%. He thought it was funny after. He's not uptight. Like, it's a joke. If people don't like it, they can lump it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I felt bad for Adzi, but at the end of the day, I just got to have a good week, and then at the end of the week, I'll buy him 100 scratch cards, whoever it wins.
Proper scratch cards.
Yeah, and hopefully he can earn more money than that as well this week if we play well.
But you don't have any regrets over it.
No, and people that have complaints about it, I'd say loosen up. 100%. He thought it was funny after. He's not.
All right. Here's the problem. Obviously, the problem isn't the fucking prank. Problem is the fucking question. What the fuck are we doing here?
What the fuck are you doing?
Exactly. Look, Charlie Hall is a professional golfer playing in a professional golf tournament. There are thousands of legitimate questions you could ask. How's the course playing? How do you think you played? How's your game feeling? What's your strategy heading into tomorrow? Instead, we get a fucking reporter asking whether or not she has regrets about playing a joke on her caddy with a fake scratch-off ticket. Are you fucking kidding me? Look, I don't care if you thought the prank was funny. I don't care if you thought it was stupid. If you didn't agree with the prank. The point is the fucking question. And this relates to the Kyle Shanahan thing. The integrity of journalism is fucking gone by the wayside. Look, this goes back to the PGA Championship. And he got Clown of the Week here on this program for it. Doug Ferguson, PGA Tour reporter. If you go back, the videos on our YouTube page at OTH Sports Pod. I should have had it pulled up for this, but I didn't, because this was kind of like on the fly when I saw this. But Doug Ferguson, he's been around the PGA for a long time. Didn't really know about the guy, though, really much until he asked this question of Cam Young at the PGA Championship at Aronimink. But this is a similar situation that happened to Cam Young. Media Day, PGA Championship, before the tournament even fucking starts. Doug Ferguson asked Cam Young, he said, you have an iPhone, right? And I'm ad-libbing, but this is similar to you have an iPhone, right? Cam Young looks at him like, yeah. He's like, well, what do you watch when you're on tour? Asking a fucking golfer what he watches while he's on the road. That's the best question you come up with, Doug? And I don't know who this reporter was at this LPGA event, but you're sitting there questioning the integrity of whether she should have played a prank or not on her caddy because you didn't find it funny? Who gives a fuck what you think? That's not relevant here. It's a golf tournament, right? Like, look, if you, I'm not saying you can't ask a funny question. Like, I actually like when reporters preface their question with something stupid or off the cuff. It gives them personality. Look, if I would have been given the opportunity to interview Charlie Hall, I probably would have said something like, by the way, the prank you played on your caddy was absolutely fucking hysterical. Did he ever forgive you, or did he think it was funny after you got, after a few minutes of figuring out he really wasn't $100,000 richer? But then I'd move on to the fucking tournament that she's playing in, and I'd ask a relevant question. The difference, though, is this reporter, that's the question. Like, the fucking question from the reporter is, do you regret pranking your caddy with a fake scratch-off lottery ticket? Do you know how many people would kill to have the credentials to cover an event like that? To be given an opportunity to ask a question to a pro golfer, male or female? And this reporter gets credentialed And the best you could come up with is, do you regret playing a prank on your caddy? And like Charlie Hull said, if you don't like it, you should probably loosen up. Has this world really gone that far off the fucking rails that we're now getting questioned on integrity by playing a joke on somebody? Are you fucking kidding me? Come on. You got to do better. Come on. It's fucking comedy. And good for her for being like, no, I don't fucking regret it. Loosen up. Fucking, like, come on. You can't be calling yourself a professional reporter, a journalist, if you're asking stupid fucking questions like that. You get people who are independent journalists, people who have podcasts, whether sports related or not, that do better reporting than these clowns that get credentialed to cover events or to cover news stories. It's fucking mind-blowing. But this is where we're at with questions. And again, you can be funny and you can ask that, but that shouldn't be the lead question. If you want to address the prank, whether you agree with it or not, fine. But that shouldn't be your question, that your one and only question. The same thing that fucking Doug Ferguson asked Cam Young. You have an iPhone? What do you watch on the iPhone? I watch fucking midget porn in between hitting bunker shots and chip shots with my swing coach. What the fuck, dude? Maybe ask something relevant, or maybe your credentials should be fucking revoked. You should be embarrassed to ask a fucking question like that. Do you regret playing a joke on your caddy when you gave him a fake lottery ticket? Fuck you. And good on her for saying, loosen up. Hey, maybe I'm old school, but I think press conferences should be about sports. They should also have some humor to it. Like I said, I like when reporters add personality to it and give their own take on it, but that shouldn't be the main question. So that's my take. And I think that about wraps this fucking this show up for tonight. But we'll be back here tomorrow with more fuckery, I'm sure, tomorrow. That's a wrap for tonight. Hey, listen, big thanks to everybody for hanging out on a Thursday evening. Went a hell of a lot longer than I thought to do a quick round one recap of the Rocket Classic, but hey, whatever. We'll do what the fuck we want here. Hey, if the show gave you a reason to think differently, I hope you laughed. I hope you laughed a lot. Hey, maybe you found a betting edge in between all this fuckery that we did for the past 2 hours. That's what Off the Hook Sports is all about. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe button. Follow us here on YouTube at OTH Sports Pod and on X at OTH Sports Pod. We'd love to have you along for the ride. It's a good one. We're here 5 days a week, sometimes a lot more. This week, a lot more. Love to have you along for the ride. Love to have you along for the hang. So give us a follow, give us a like, and come back tomorrow. More fuckery, for sure. We'll question people's integrity. I'll question my own fucking integrity. Probably won't have any more booger sugar videos. I'm out of those. But look, every like, comment, share, it all helps us grow this thing the right way. One show at a time. No paywalls, no VIP packages, no subscriptions, no pay-to-play clicks, picks, and that bullshit. We just talk sports. We give a little betting insight. It's just a community of people trying to get a little bit better one day at a time here. And listen, if you're not using Pikkit, look, Pikkit powers the show here. And if you're not using Pikkit, yeah, what the fuck are you doing? Go get the Pikkit app. Download it from the Google Play Store, the App Store. Sync your book, put in code OTH, and come have fun with us on Pikkit. Track your friends, your bets, line movements, all with the Pikkit app. And listen, new 4th and Goal, our football series, everything college NFL football drops tomorrow. AFC North's on deck. We'll preview that, get you set up, all the betting angles, predictions, all that good shit on 4th and Goal. We do a division every week getting you set up for college and NFL season. That drops tomorrow. We're back here tomorrow. I'm Tommy Trends. My boys Mookie and Nash, they want to go for a walk. And they've been telling me to shut up for like the past hour now. They're staring me down. So we're done. We're back, though, tomorrow. Round 2 recap. Cut day tomorrow at the Rocket Classic. So we'll get you caught up on that. More fuckery, more MLB picks. The books don't give refunds. Make sure you do your homeworks. Make sure you do your homework. Shop the lines with the Pikkit app. And never stop looking for an edge. Thank you to everybody for hanging out tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Good luck in your bets. Let's cook the books, cash some tickets, and we're back tomorrow. Good night. See ya.